Howdy, folks. Welcome to episode 24 of Bonfire Man.
Here's how Bonfire Man works. I'm locked to specific chunks in the game. I have to interact with everything in my unlocked chunks exactly once. So that means every tree needs to be chopped, every enemy needs to die, every resource needs to be consumed. When I interact with something, it is exhausted. When something is exhausted, that means I'm not allowed to interact with it again. I'm allowed to randomly unlock a new chunk whenever all of the entities in my current chunks have been so exhausted. When I enter a new chunk, I rest at a bonfire, as in the Souls games. Resting at a bonfire refreshes or unexhausts all of the content in previous chunks that I've already been to. Now I have to exhaust all entities in both the old and new chunks to continue to progress. My objective is to unlock every chunk in RuneScape. According to my estimates, I think that's going to take about 10,000 hours to complete. If you're interested in all the specifics, minutiae, minor rules, exceptions, that kind of a thing, there's a Google Doc in the description that lists all of that. Let's go ahead and get to the playthrough.
All right, so the start of this episode is going to be a little bit chaotic. We are going to go to the new chunk and check it out briefly, but I need to very quickly head over to the Draenor agility course and do a quick lap so that I can use this lamp from the end of last episode on agility and get a little bit more XP out of it. I also want to quickly kill a couple hill giants because I only have 2 more to finish my Slayer task, see what the next task is, and then we'll go back to, checking out the brand new chunk. But the new chunk is Ruins of Unkah. I'm headed over there now. See you at the ferryman. All right, here we are boarding the ferry. Into Unkah for the first time, and there we are. Beautiful. Now let's go ahead and light the bonfire. I think I can just do that here. Had to grab my tinderbox and logs. There it is. Beautiful. All right, and of course let's rest at it. All right, everything has respawned, so I'm going to come right back here in a second, but I need to go do those other things right away in case random events spawn. So I'm going to go do the Draenor agility course first.
All right, it's time for the objectives overview. Let's talk about what we're working on here. Again, just looking at changes from the previous episode. If you aren't interested in this, you can check the time code to skip to the next part. Let's look at 100% completed chunks first. This is up by 2. The first one is the Southeast Wilderness reroll chunk. We just rolled this chunk. All it has in it is trees. Last episode, we ran in there, cut all the trees, skipped lighting the bonfire, and then rolled another chunk, which is how we have the Unkah chunk this time. So no benefit of this one being complete other than I can ignore all the trees there, mercifully. The other chunk we 100% completed is way more impactful. That's North Draenor. So North Draenor has 11 oak trees to deplete, which is pretty convenient. It also has 1 man and 1 woman who can be pickpocketed 28 times each, although I still haven't deployed that rule change. And most impactful of all, the Draenor rooftop course is here. So, mild spoilers for the episode you're about to watch, but I'm going to see a Mark of Grace spawn today and be like, oh crap, right, those spawn after you complete a lap. I will never be able to get Marks of Grace on this account if I don't change my rule set. Agility is also one of those skills that kind of has an inherent math problem. There's just not enough XP nodes for it to be mathematically possible to train this skill in this format above like level 30 or so. So because North Draenor is a 100% completed chunk, that means that the Draenor rooftop course can be repeated until a Mark of Grace spawns. The Mark of Grace can be picked up, and then the lap can be completed. This still results in pretty terrible agility returns, but it makes it maybe possible that we could get to level 70 and do the quest cape at least. There's a weird unintended benefit of this rule change that's actually really elegant that I did not intend when I added it. When your agility is 20 levels higher than the level for a course, the Mark of Grace spawn rate drops by like 80%. And that sucks really bad for most accounts, but for me that's amazing because that means when I get to level 30 agility, I'm 20 levels higher than the Draenor rooftop course. Mark of Grace is going to spawn like once every 20 laps instead of once every like 4 or 5 laps. So it's kind of a nice scaling feature. Since part of Bonfire Man is that I'm always having to do the old content, right? I will be doing the Draenor rooftop course 6,000 hours from now. It becomes more valuable the higher level I am than the course, so it remains somewhat relevant. And just to be clear, this still isn't a reasonable amount of XP. This is about how much XP you get from doing 20-ish laps of the course. But anyway, I realize this is a problem this episode, and I think I fix it next episode. So you'll see me run more than one lap starting next episode. Next up is quest blocked chunks. No change here. I'm still blocked by all of the quests marked on the map here. Skill blocked chunks. So we do have a new skill blocked chunk, and that's West Varrock. As we're about to cover in the next section, this used to be an item blocked chunk because we needed to have a fishing rod to get a raw sardine, and we needed the raw sardine to be able to finish Gertrude's cat. But now we can get a fishing rod in the ruins of Unkah, and so this chunk will not be blocked by Gertrude's cat. We can complete it today if we wanted to. However, there are several guards in this chunk, and they require level 40 thieving to pickpocket. That's the most significant blocker right now. Technically, this chunk is also blocked by the completion of a single Romilly task, which I bet a lot of you have never heard of before. It's pretty terrible, and it's a complete waste of time, but there's a guy in the Cook's Guild named Romilly, and he will give you a task to bake him some number of pies. If you turn those pies into him, he gives you a terrible amount of GP for it. So because that is an exhaustible task, like the Wise Old Man tasks in South Draenor, it counts as being needed to finish this chunk. I've already accepted that task from him at this point, and he wants something like 27 mud pies, which is probably another item you may have never heard of. It's like a cosmetic thing where you can throw mud pies in people's faces, and it requires a bunch of compost and clay to make. So I'm still calling this a thieving blocked chunk because getting to 40 thieving is probably going to be harder than making those mud pies. But it might move to being an item blocked chunk if we get thieving 40 and then it turns out that we don't have access to enough pie shells or compost buckets to finish cooking them. Speaking of item blocked chunks, thanks to the ruins of Unkah, there aren't any anymore. Previously, the Barbarian Village, West Varrock, and Lumbridge Swamp East were all blocked by not having access to a fishing rod or a fly fishing rod, but now we can complete both of those chunks, which is a really big deal. Again, the benefits of 100% completing a chunk don't apply until the next cycle after you finish it. So for Barbarian Village, the big deal is that we'll be able to deplete the fly fishing nodes there for both pikes and trout/salmon. Lumbridge Swamp East is the one that I marked complete in error a few episodes ago, and so I've already been benefiting from that in error. So when I realized I can use a fishing rod here, I finally realized that I made a mistake, and the way I'm going to fix it is by skipping the shooting star in that chunk and skipping depleting the shrimp nodes in that chunk for the next 4 or so cycles. But after serving my punishment, having a shooting star is going to be amazing. That's a massive increase of mining XP per cycle. It's like 20 to 25k extra mining XP per cycle, depending on how many other people are on the star. And then finally, we have just one chunk that is blocked by other chunks. We can't complete the Soul Wars lobby until we unlock all 3 of the adjacent chunks to chop all of the trees there. So the board's looking quite good this time. I think the rules we have are nice because it means that we're going to get lots of exponential breakpoints on this account. Like, as soon as we hit 40 thieving, that's going to be huge because now we're going to be able to pickpocket all of the guards in West Varrock and South Varrock 28 times each, which is a massive increase in thieving XP per cycle. Sweet. Well, that's the objective overview. Let's get back to the playthrough.
Actually, never mind. I'm going to kill the hill giants first because they're right near here. And then I'm going to use this necklace of passage to teleport over there. And we'll come right back to the new chunk. I guess while I'm walking over there, new chunk has 4 crocodiles, 6 scorpions, 4 seagulls. Nothing terribly exciting there. Some ore that we've seen before. Some item spawns that are quite useful. And I've decided to start adding shops to the list. If it's a shop I'm able to refresh its stock each cycle, I am going to be able to complete this chunk here. So in the future, I'll be able to access both the fishing shop and the Shantae shop and refresh their stock every cycle, which is quite nice. I think that permanently solves feathers for me. And if I get some excess money, I might start trying to dump money into feather packs so that I can get some fletching XP out of my insane number of arrow shafts. I have 155,000 arrow shafts in the bank sitting around doing nothing. All right, just quickly killing 2 hill giants here. That's all I have left in my Slayer task. Then I'm going to pop over, finish the agility course, and we'll go to the Varrock sewers and talk to Unkah to see if we get lucky again on another Slayer task. I think we're on this is either the 3rd or 4th Slayer task. I think it's a 3rd. And we happen to get a monster that we can kill and for which there is a reasonable number of enemies every single time. So that luck's going to have to dry up eventually. All right, there's Slayer task complete, 69 hill giants. You've completed 3 tasks. Let's do the agility course first. Might also grab my clean Irrit leaf out of the bank so I can get another agility potion. I'd love to be able to boost to do every rooftop course. So every time I get a clean Irrit leaf from Sorceress's Garden, I think that's going to be a pretty big deal. All right, here we go. Second ever completion of the Draenor Agility course. If we don't fall, we should get exactly enough XP to hit level 9, after which point I'll use the lamp. If we fall, I can get one clear per cycle, so I can attempt it again until I finish the lap once. Hey, first try, got it. There it is. Level 9 agility, and horrifically, a Mark of Grace spawned, and I can't get it because I can't do another lap. So that might be problematic. I might need to figure out how I want to adjudicate that in the future. Let's go ahead and use this agility lamp. Yeah, another 90 XP, and if we get one more lamp, we should be able to hit the level up with the XP from inside the lumbered swamp cave. So we're getting close to level 10 where I'm going to be able to do this natively. Now, this Mark of Grace thing, it's already too late. I'm going to have to leave this one unpicked up, I think. I'm going to need to make some kind of rule that if a Mark of Grace spawns that I can do part of the next lap to pick it up. Otherwise, it's missing content, which is kind of against the whole spirit of the mode. Brazenly teleport to Varrock, because I am doing okay on law runes lately. Oh shoot, I forgot to wipe this. All right, well, there'll be missing a couple hill giants from this. It'll be correct in the main loot tracker. Guess I did wipe the supply tracker correctly. All right, let's hope for a good Slayer task. We might be blocked if we get something unlucky here. Assignment, Calfight. Yeah, that is a block. I cannot do Calfights. And I don't think I have the ability to skip tasks. Really? Come back when you finish your task. I think I'd have to unlock Birth Orb to be able to skip it. Yeah, so that's too bad. A little bit of a bummer. Because not the absolute end of the world, but go ahead and lock that in the chunk picker, and we're going to head back to Unkah now. All right, back here in Unkah, let's just knock this place out really quick. And then I'm probably going to do a lot of stuff with the things I can buy from the fishing shop. Mining's done, no problem. I'm going to work on the scorpions and the crocodiles. It's cool that there's a pickaxe over. I'm trying to get all the items spawned, and I was struggling to track some of them down here. All right, got to get Shantae Pass here or two. I'm never going to buy out the stock shop or shop stock of Shantae Passes, so I'm not going to worry too much about tracking that stuff, but I should track everything else. So I actually can't get to the crocodiles in this chunk. Maybe I can from the other exit. I'll check in a second. Able to complete a task here by cutting one of these cactuses. That's kind of cool. Cacti. Yeah, I don't think I can get over there. I might try to range the crocodiles over the fence if it'll let me. I have to kill 4 of them though, and I don't know if all 4 of them are within the range of the fence itself. So this is going to determine whether or not I'm actually going to be able to complete this chunk. That one back in the corner has me a little bit worried. Yeah, because all these rocks, I can't actually walk through there. Right, so I can fight from across the fence. I brought a longbow with me for the extra range in case I need it to hit the one that's the furthest away, but I'm not going to hit at least 2 of them. Okay, so this is horrible. I am able to reach the far one, but it keeps backing up. So I'm just going to have to sit here and wait for it to walk into range. I need to clear this chunk so I can have the shop stocks regenerate, and also not have to do this every cycle. So I'm going to do my best. This is going to take a really long time, though. I'm not looking forward to it. Okay, so I have an idea. These crocodiles are level 63, which means I would need to be a level 126 to not be aggroed by them. I think that means that I can bring my main here, have one of them aggro me, and then try to lure it to where I can shoot it across the fence. I can also shoot from here, but like after they back up from getting hit by the longbow, it takes forever for them to wander back into the range of my bow. Here it's saying I can't reach that. Let me go grab my main. My main is combat level 125, so this might work. We'll give it a shot here. Okay, mercifully it does seem to be working. I think this will do. I think it'll drop aggro on me eventually, and that's going to be a problem. But at least I can go back and pull it back toward me every so often. This is going to take a very long time to kill one crocodile. In order to get them out of this aggro state, I might need to like hop repeatedly. I'm assuming that they drop aggro once I hop. Yeah, they sure do. Okay. This sucks. Hop back and I can squeeze in a few more shots here before it moves again. I wonder if I can try to body block it, maybe. It's harder for it to run away. Okay, so this is doable, but I'm going to spare you the hassle. I'm probably going to burn through a ton of arrows while I work on it. I'll be back when it's done. It's extremely brutal. I'm at a point where I'm like, they're like regenerating as much health as it is taking me time to pull them over. I'm going to be very pleased when this is finally done. Never have to do it again. Oh, this one's pretty close. Give it to me, please. I'm about to get it. Yes. Watch that one die. There's the bones. I just have to kill the one in the back now. I have to hop in order to drop aggro from me. Right now I get about 3 shots in before it backs up, and I have to switch. I'm hoping this is the last hop cycle. 1. Hey, that's the second one dead. Oh my god, that was horrible. 4 crocodiles killed. God damn it. I'm going to mark that complete. We have completed the ruins of Unkah, although holy shit was it a pain in the ass. Good god. I guess I still need to buy something from the regular fishing shop, so I'll just go get a pack of feathers really quick, or like a fly fishing rod or something. Alright, here's Ishmael's shop. I already picked up a regular fishing rod, a harpoon, and a lobster pot off the ground, so I'm going to get a fly fishing rod, which is very exciting. And I've already bought a Shantae pass from the Shantae shop, so now we have bought at least one thing from every shop, and we've unlocked this chunk. Victory achieved. Ruins of Unkah. Finally have a really significant shop that I have its stock refresh every cycle. I don't know that it makes sense for me to spend a ton of money on feather packs here because I still need to pay for planks and that sort of a thing. But I'm going to get a handful of them and I'm going to track them in my spreadsheet just to keep track of how many I buy per cycle. I think the Shantae shop also sells feather packs, so that's kind of cool. And the Shantae shop sells 10 bronze bars, which I will be buying out every single cycle. Shop also has 10 bowls of water. I'm going to buy those every cycle. Not terribly expensive. I can massively increase the number of bowls I'm getting now. Also, I can now complete Gertrude's cat because I can buy a raw sardine from the fish shop, so I am going to do that. Curious, I'm going to use all of my current feathers on arrow shafts. I'm not going to be able to buy enough feather packs. I don't think I have enough gold to buy enough feather packs to get to 155k arrow shafts, so I'm curious how much fletching XP this is going to get me, so I'm going to work on this for a little bit. Being able to train fletching like this is exceedingly slow, but I should probably do the math on how much potential XP there is just in the arrow shafts, because if I can get fletching high enough, it's a long ways away, but if I can get fletching high enough, I can make a U short bow, which would be a massive upgrade for me. So apparently I have enough shafts in the bank that I could get to level 59 fletching. I plugged that in because that's when I can first make a myth grapple. Fletching 49. I need to figure out how many feather packs that represents and how much gold that represents. Working on that next. Yeah, that's like 300,000 GP. So I will not be doing that, but I'll keep that in mind in case I get a sudden like big influx of GP. Something to maybe spend on so I can actually use these arrow shafts for something. Okay, I'm gonna leave myself with like 800 or so feathers for fishing and stuff. We'll maybe revisit this in the future, but I don't want to spend all of my cash on it. Ruins of Unkah are complete. I wanted to show here I'm going to delete the Southeast Wildy as a task because I'm not going to go there for 47 dead trees. But it was here, it was completed, it's gone now. Goodbye. Now I have lots of other stuff to work on. Let me get started on that. Oh, mercifully, you know how I missed those skeletons last cycle because of a power outage? They didn't get added to the loot tracker. They did get added to the loot logger. So 412 skeletons is the exact number of skeletons I have listed in my tracker. So that's very good to see. So I found a level 80 star here that wasn't scouted. I'm currently mining it down with my group iron account and my main account. Once I get it down to 40, I'll log into my bonfire account and get as much out of it as I can. All right, my main and group iron account have gotten it down to level 50. I'm ready to swap in with my bonfire account here soon. All right, got it down to 40. I'm here by myself at the moment, which means I'm sure people are about to start showing up now that I'm actually mining it for real. I've got an irrit leaf on me, got a bunch of stream work to do. Let's go. About to ding 48 mining, hoping to get 50 here because then I'll be able to do another tier of shooting star next cycle. Because the higher the tier I can do, the worse, arguably, in the sense that, like, it's harder for me to scout one that I can get the full value out of, but it's okay. All right, I was able to completely mine the tier 40 without anybody showing up. We're now on 30. I'll keep reporting back until somebody shows up, I guess. About to ding 49 mining. There it is. 50, I think the only thing we get from that is the next tier of shooting star. 55 is the next big objective. For mithril. Oh, somebody else is here. Let me see if I can ask them to leave. Well, so much for that. Oh, 20 people here now. Kill me. Yeah, well, this thing's getting annihilated. I think someone just happened to walk past it and then shared it in the Shooting Stars chat channel, and now it's a most. That's okay. I still got it most of the way through. I got it all the way through 40 and about half the way through 30 before anybody showed up. But now I can't keep doing stream work. Well, that's the end of that. 13.8k, still not too bad. Kind of a bummer, though, that people just swarmed it like that. One of these days, maybe I'll be able to mine it in completion. While I'm here, I guess I'm just going to mine the other stuff in the general area. And I think I need to take a break, because I do have to actually finish the stream work. Because now I can't do it while playing at the same time. Alright, I'm working on wood cutting right now, and chopped a total of 825 regular trees, of which 401 of them are from Draenor. I've decided to stop marking objects in this particular chunk just because there's so many of them and it's glitchy as to whether I can even target the tree. So I'm just making sure that I chop 401 trees. A couple of them might get chopped repeatedly. Many of them might get chopped repeatedly. It's, you know, I have that fungibility rule for that reason. But I did just chop 401 trees here. I guess I'm going to pick up these cabbages because I suppose you can use sacks of them to protect redberry bushes. I don't have access to sacks right now, but I may as well start picking up cabbages because I haven't been doing that. There's also a cabbage that I can get, or a bunch of cabbages I can get in Varrock South that I should probably start going for now. But I'm going to rake this belladonna patch, and then I think we're done with this for now because I don't have to do any of these critters. All right, and unfortunately I'm going to have to break there. The next time I play is going to be after the update. It's Tuesday morning, so tomorrow, Wednesday morning, it's going to wipe out my runelite data. I haven't killed very many things. I've done all the unicorns just to get them done. The giant rats in Varrock East Mine, I like trying to get all those kills out of the way while I'm there. Same with the goblin and the black bear. The bats in Silvaria and the enemies in Unkah, so those tags are going to get wiped out. And here are my XP totals before they get reset. I am not done with woodcutting yet. I was hoping to get it done today before I had to wrap, but I don't think it's going to happen. Woodcutting is getting pretty nasty, especially now with Draenor Manor. It takes a lot of time. Mining, most of that XP is from the Shooting Star, but a handful of it is from some of the other nodes. I think I'm close to being done with that, if not done with that for this cycle. So this is going to get wiped out. I guess also this 48 farming XP is from raking patches. I might end up getting 23 farming from raking still. Live split timer, almost 6 hours. So we're definitely reaching a point where I'm consistently not finishing the cycle within a week. So episodes might slow down. I guess from your perspective, if you're seeing this one, they should be so staggered that you're not going to have to deal with episode slowdown for months, I would expect. But it is going to happen. I don't think that allowing ourselves to clear and skip content in chunks is really significantly helping with that problem. Hey folks, I'm back from the maintenance. They just added the new gold-tinged max hit splats. I should go do this easy clue in case I get another one to drop. They have still like a 3 or 4% chance to do them. I guess I'll run over to Al-Kharid really quick to do it, and then I'll come back and continue chopping trees here. I guess if I'm going to go to Al-Kharid, I'm going to use a home teleport. I may as well do a quick construction run, so I'll do that first. All right, that's the end of my first trip. 11 XP away from 41 construction. Yep. Fishing Guild, can't do that one. All right, I'm just going to head straight back to Draenor. That's fine. Well, glad I used that clue scroll because I immediately got another easy clue nest. This one I can do. I can do step 2, Northeast Varrock Square. I think I'm going to go ahead and be greedy and use a Varrock teleport again. Oh, Jim Jam. Third step is in Draenor, which I can get to. And it's nice because that's where I wanted to be to chop wood anyway. Yeah, current easy clue completion chance is 5%. It's about 1 in 20. So hopefully I don't get a 4th step here. Oh no. Oh, that's so depressing. I'm very sad. Cannot get to Falador. Bummer. Hey, got an exam random. It's going to be enough to get us a level up. I could save the book all the way until next cycle, but I think I'm just going to spend it here since I haven't been to the Lumbered Swamp Caves yet. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're less likely to get XP randoms if you already have an XP item in your inventory, so I'd rather just use it rather than risk it. It should get me to level 10 agility, which is outstanding. Also, then I can save another dose of my potion, which will be good. 135 agility XP. You are now agility level 10. To believe that this actually happened. Outstanding. Okay, so I don't have to use... I have 2 doses remaining of my agility potion. I probably should be carrying a clean Irrit leaf around with me. I'm still going to be dumping everything into agility whenever I can. Well, level 10 agility is required for the dig site. I also need 10 herb lore, which is the much bigger problem. I actually have to roll Taverley for that to be possible. 13 agility is what's needed for the Lost Tribe. I'm not sure if I can boost that. Let me see. It is boostable, so I can technically do that, but I need Goblin Diplomacy to start it. Yeah, I was curious if I could make it partway through that quest, so I could like mine some of the stuff down there. I don't know if I want to waste a potion usage on attempting it if I don't know for sure that it's going to work. Maybe I'll talk to Sigmund and see if it lets me go down there next time I'm in Lumbridge. About to hit 68 once I hit this tree. 68 wood cutting. Okie dokie, I finished all of the wood cutting. I'm going to head over... Actually, I guess technically I haven't finished Soul Wars, so I guess I'll go there. That's a good enough place to start the PVM portion of this cycle. We're about 7 hours and 22 minutes into the run so far. I successfully killed the moss giants and chopped all the trees. I'm going to try to do Soul Wars now. Don't think I can get enough zeal in this run for the ectoplasmator, but I will get it next run, finally. Had a really bad game there. Got like 11 zeal. Just got completely crushed by the other team, and they were just seeing me as easy points, so every time I'd step out of the base, I'd get nuked. Hopefully things go better this time, we'll see. Okay, that one went better. I got 44 that time, plus 11 from last time is 55. You know, the rule as I stated it is that I can, as soon as I go over 60, I have to stop. But this is really close. It's like 5 tickets away, and I might even get enough to get the ectoplasmator after this. Although it might result in me getting more points on average. It's safer than me trying to like make a really complicated rule set for how PvP minigame points carry over. So this should be my last game for the cycle. Alright, well, it's only fair. That last round went really badly. I only got 18 zeal, so we're actually not that far above the 60 for the cycle. Can't make the ectoplasmator, but I can get it next cycle, and then I can start buying the Spoils of War, which potentially have huge implications for this account, especially if I get one of the big hull drops. Yeah, I have 219 tokens, and the ectoplasmator is 250 tokens, so we will definitely get it next cycle. I don't know if we'll get enough to also buy a Spoils of War. Oh man, I was going to say, if I'm at least 30 over, I'll just go ahead and buy a Spoils of War now, but we could get exactly 60 zeal next cycle, and if we do, then I'm not going to be able to buy the spoils, so I don't want to risk that happening. I'll just wait till next cycle, it's fine. Construction 41 can now make shield, easel, globe, fencing ring, rune display case. I don't think I can do anything with any of those. Hey folks, I actually took a pretty long break from the last recording here. Just had a lot of stream work and stuff to get done that I wasn't able to do while working on Bonfire Man. So it's been a bit since I played. Today is Wednesday. There was recently another update, wiped out the XP tracker and any of my currently marked mobs, but that should be okay because I've mostly killed stuff contained in specific areas. I'm going to get back to work though. I'm going to start working on the PVM side of things now that woodcutting is done. All right, here comes range level up. 53 range. So I'm going to try to take it to 60. Oh, the text box got dismissed, but I just hit 61 hit points. Cooking 49, I'm just getting some stews to do PVM down in the Edgeville dungeon. About to hit range 54. There it is. 54 ranged. I might not actually go all the way to 60. I might go to the next max hit increase, which I think is 57. I'll check in a second. Yeah, 3 more range levels, so I'll stop at 57. It should be enough. So I actually get to complete the Barbarian Village chunk this cycle now that I can fish for trout. I'm going to hit up those 2 spots, and then I'm going to finish killing the barbarians. I got to get the item spawns too to truly complete the chunk. I don't think I ever realized that there are only actually 2 nodes here, but once the chunk's complete, I'll be able to fish them to depletion in the future, which is nice. It's our first ever trout that we've caught. Oh, and there's first ever salmon. Nice. Just past 46 prayer. I guess I'll keep announcing prayer level ups because I get like maybe 1 per episode. But nothing on the horizon for prayer for an extremely long time. 70 would be nice for quests and stuff, but unless if something really changes with my access to prayer or prayer trading methods, I don't think we'll be getting that for a very long time. All right, I picked up all the items, the beers, the cooked meats. There's just this pickaxe. And now this chunk is 100% complete. Victory achieved. Awesome. I don't think there's anything else that I can get with fishing that's going to let me actually complete a chunk, but I'm still pretty pumped about that being done. Lets me skip a whole bunch of trees. I'm gonna deplete the fish. I'm gonna do the tin and the coal. I'm probably gonna kill all the goblins. The barbarians. I might skip the goblins because they're the level 5 goblins. They don't drop air talismans. But we'll see what I'm gonna do next cycle. I gotta gear up and head into the Stronghold of Security next, I think, is the next move. So before I do Stronghold of Security, let me do some construction training, because I need to go refill my prayer anyway. So I'm going to teleport to Lumbridge, do it at the church there, and then use the Skull Scepter to come back. So I'll do that instead. Oh, I missed that I can make this shield easel now. It's another 4 oak planks. Right on. Alright, there's another full inventory, 1344 construction XP. I don't think I'm going to hit 42 this cycle, but definitely next cycle. 43 is the exciting one, because then I can make a chapel. I'm going to try to save money for that. An Evil Bob random over here. Haven't got one of these in a while. Hopefully it'll be fishing XP. Alright, what we get here? Magic, unfortunately. Alright, just kill the special zombie. I still haven't gotten a cool drop from this thing. I got 2 big bones. One of these days. I promise it has a cool drop table. Alright, I'm done here at the Stronghold of Security. I did get a mithril ore drop from Unkah's, which is nice. I'm always holding out for those. My first coal ore drop from Catablepins in a minute. And a decent number of iron from flesh crawlers. Getting like 20 iron or so per cycle for the last several cycles has been really good for Giant's Foundry. I'm going to roll on out of here and do something else. I don't know yet. Knocking out some runecraft, 32 runecraft. So it's strength 65. One more to go for a max hit, and then I'm probably going to try do some attack and defense. About to get a thieving level up here. Thieving 34, 4 levels to go. Chaos is in my clan chat with me. Notice that I got a runecraft, strength, and thieving level back to back. I'm just kind of cracking up about this mode. What the hell are you doing? I'm making progress through my chunks here. I desperately need to cook some food because I'm out of meat to make stews. So I'm going to do that in Lumbridge, try to get a bit of a higher cook chance. I think I'm just going to cook not all of my chicken. Anyway, since I'm going to Lumbridge, I'm going to do a construction training run real quick. I'm actually rather impressed how much construction XP I can get, and how many trips I can do with oak, making each kind of item one time. It's not too bad. Finally out of oak plank objects for this cycle. Start working on regular planks. All right, there's all the training. I should get to 42 construction from my remaining regular planks, I think. And then maybe next cycle we'll get to 43 finally, and we can make a chapel. We'll see. About a dang 50 cooking here. Yeah. Chocolate cakes, okay. Got a Quizmaster random here. I think there's still some exciting stuff I can get from this. All right, mystery box, what we get? A hard clue scroll. I'm not gonna be able to do that. Nope. Didn't think so. Hey, got another long bone. It's cute. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do Gertrude's cat because I can now. I'll raise the cat. I don't think there's anything I can do with it until I unlock Arduin, but maybe it'll have one. All right, starting Gertrude's cat. Let's go. I'll report when it's done. There we go. Finish Gertrude's cat. Cooking XP, a kitten, a cake, and some stew. Mark that complete. And we're done for now. I gotta be able to, once I can pickpocket guards, that's gonna let me clear a lot of chunks. All right, so I need to start preparing for boosting construction, and unfortunately that's gonna involve a bit of a pain because I'm going to have to spend a ton of steel on making a sink and on making a fancy range so that I never have to spend steel in this again. So it's gonna really hurt my income at Giant's Foundry this cycle, but I think it's gonna be worth it in the long term. I went ahead and built the Wooden Shelves 3, which lets us get a +2 boost from construction. And I'm probably just never going to replace those now until I get the teak ones. Interesting, I got a Dwarven Stout from one of these rock slugs. That might matter later. It's only +1 smithing, but I'll see if I can make some use of it at Giant's Foundry, maybe. This might be bad. I just lost signal right as I attacked this rock slug. It's not going to die. I think I've got a Comcast outage here. Oof. Well, we'll see. Hopefully I get my stuff back. Well, it looks like it actually wasn't a Comcast issue for once. It was RuneScape. Server I was on went down. That's okay. I'll just kill one here. All right, Rune Medhelm. Nope. Hey, Genie, my friend. I think I want to use this right away because my agility XP... Yeah, I won't get a level up next cycle otherwise. So this will make sure that I get one. Agility... 100 agility XP, pretty good. So we'll definitely get one on the Draenor course next episode.
Fishing 32.
So it occurs to me now that we have access to the fishing rod that this is a little problematic. I've never actually done bait fishing in any of these tiles, but I should probably come down with a ruling on this topic. So for Bonfire Man, am I allowed to fish everything that's available in a node? Let's talk about incomplete nodes first, because that's less complicated. So namely, like, could I take... I shouldn't say everything, because what I actually fish is random. You know, whether I get shrimp or anchovy, I can't control. But if I'm going to go to, say, the Catherby Beach, if I had that unlocked, should I take a lobster pot and a harpoon and fish once with the lobster pot and fish once with the harpoon? I think the answer to that is yes. And the reason is the Bonfire Man philosophy that we want to try to do as much content as possible. And if I end up just doing whatever the better, higher level thing is at that node, I won't get as much content, right? I'll stop doing shrimp from now on. I'll only do a regular fishing rod with regular bait. So I think after I finish these nodes for shrimp and anchovies, I only have one more to do. I'm going to come right back. I'm going to add a new thing in here now that I have a fishing rod to fish the other thing from them. And we'll do both going forward. I think that means I have to go... There's a couple other places where I can fish things. I think like Barbarian Village, I marked complete without bringing a regular fishing rod and bait too. So I'll check those out and do those as well. All right, so it occurs to me that this is actually a little problematic because... Further problematic. Because I considered this chunk complete, not thinking about the fact that fishing nodes have two distinct nodes that you can fish from. Actually, not even realizing that. I thought that that was small nets only. So I've been treating this as a complete node for longer than I should have. Technically, only now I should have completed it. Let me go ahead and start fishing over here while I think about a way to solve that. I think there's a way for me to solve it. That's not very destructive to the playthrough, but I have to consider it a little bit further. Fortunately, this is the only so impacted chunk in the game, so I just have to come up with a solution for this chunk. Okay, so the problem is, this actually happened back and forth a couple times. This chunk, I decided I couldn't complete it in error because I included 2 agility shortcuts, I assumed at least one of which gave agility XP. And then it turned out neither of them did. So I removed it and said, actually, this chunk's been done for a while. I missed out on the XP that I didn't get before, but I should have been able to fish the fishing nodes to depletion here and mine the shooting star is the big one. So I'm just going to leave that XP on the table that I didn't earn, and going forward, I'm going to mine the shooting star to depletion once per cycle, and also fish these fishing nodes to depletion. However, I shouldn't have been doing that because I didn't have access to a fishing rod and bait yet, so I wasn't able to do anything with these guys. This shouldn't have been a complete chunk until once I finish here. I think to make up for it, I should make up for it. The way I'm going to do that is after this chunk is complete, I'm going to treat it as an incomplete chunk for some number of cycles. I have to go back through the old videos to figure out when exactly how many shooting stars I've mined in error, and how many shrimp plus anchovies I've fished in error. But I'll pretend like it's an incomplete chunk for some number of chunks to make up for my mistake. And then once it's made up for, I'll resume, fully tapping them out. I think that's a fair solution. It does mean that I got some mining XP a little bit sooner and some fishing XP a little bit sooner than I would have otherwise. But I don't think either of those things are really materially affecting my ability to progress. It might mean that I can do tier 5 shooting star a little bit sooner, but I don't think that's a big deal. So yeah, very short version. I'll make up for this. I'll try to keep track of how many cycles I need to do before I can start doing the shooting star. About to get a fishing level. There it is, fishing 33. Oh, I can catch giant frog spawn now. I guess I gotta go do that before the cycle's over. I will. All right, I have never, ever tried to fish for frog spawn before, so this is somewhat exciting for me. I don't know how many people have actually bothered fishing for this. There's one. Pretty good XP drop. Whenever I get a high enough Slayer to kill these wall beasts, it'll actually be nice to tap that out. There's one more of these on the other side. Does that mean I can arguably use the agility shortcut? I'm going to. Oh, I guess I should have also brought a fishing rod here because I can get raw slimy eels. Because I've been able to do that since fishing 28, but I just now got a fishing rod, so I'm gonna have to come all the way back to do that, but I'll do it in a second here. I caught frog spawn for the first time ever, now also catching an eel, slimy eel for the first time ever. I went ahead and added it as a task here. One of these days, gonna catch it. There it is. Oh, it's even more XP than the frog spawn. Right on. I gotta go catch the other one, and then I'm gonna go do something else. All right, I'm making another trip to play around house. Hopefully I'm gonna hit 42 construction. I should be able to. Then I can do my pump and drain and my stove, which is a lot of steel, a lot of coal to burn, but it's a one-time investment. It should be worth it long term. All right, and I clicked off at 42 construction. Yeah, I was building the shoebox. All right, so yeah, let's do our stove and pump and drain, and then I shouldn't have to touch those in my POH ever again. There we go. Pump and drain and stove. Got one more thing I can build here, which is the kitchen table. I don't have anything to boost to at the moment. Well, I mean, I don't have any remaining items to do stuff, but I might quickly test that I'm able to get this +2 boost. I always have to look this up because I'm not British, so I don't make tea. What do I need? I need a kettle, teapot. Okay, yeah, that's a +2, so that's quite good. I now have permanent access to a +2 boost. I don't think I get a +3 boost unless I get access to teak logs, and I think I still need a few more levels to get those shelves, but that's going to be nice. We get one more construction level. Hopefully next cycle that should be possible. I should be able to boost to make a chapel. I might not have enough money to afford it, which is going to be a problem. So I think it's another 50k, but I will try to do it. Farming 23. I am going to do more farming, I promise. I just really want to wait until I get some secateurs so that I can do my trees first. Alright, we're here basically at the end of the cycle. This time I actually remember to do all my construction training before coming here. I have enough bars, just barely, to do 3 Giant's Foundry swords. So I'm going to do that. Live split timer right now, 20 hours and some change, so a little bit more than last chunk, not too bad. All right, first sword complete. Let's see what we get here. Pretty good. I think it's going to be pretty standard, around 4,500 smithing XP and around 10k gold. I really hope that I'm doing my math right, that if you're planning to use literally all of your bars, it doesn't matter at all what the composition is going to be, because you're going to get the same, GP and XP per bar no matter how you do it. I don't think there's a way to get greater than the sum of its parts XP out of this,
Hey, future Marstead here. I've already told you this in a previous episode, but I am wrong about that. Only the first 2 bars in an alloy count towards the quality score, and any other bars you add count for nothing, which in this case is usually the mithril bars and the steel bars that are harder for me to get. So it's not really a greater than the sum of its parts kind of a thing. It's a you get penalized kind of a thing. Anyway, I don't think it was a huge loss. I probably lost like thousands, maybe a little more than 10,000 smithing XP to this mistake. I do fix it in the future once we all learn how Giant's Foundry works. That's all. Back to the playthrough.
All right, here's sword number 2. Pretty good. All right, got my last sword here. Turning it in. Another over 5,000 smithing XP is quite good. 10,000 coins. Should hit level 57 smithing here too. Yeah, there it is. Mithril full helms, mithril throwing knives. Okay. I think that means we are done with the cycle. I'll head over to my bank and summarize here in a second. Alrighty, it's end of chunk summary time. Let's do a slow scroll through here. Let me try to call out if anything stands out to me. Very close to being able to do last man standing. I need to get 2 more quest points. Although it sounds like it has a botting problem now, so it might take me a really long time to get 7 points in the cycle. We'll see. At least I'll get practice on it. Gonna be able to do the monkey bars somewhat soon. Technically I can use an agility potion soon, but I'm gonna wait until I actually have the level to use them. So Fire Altar was a little, I ended up not doing it. I still have a water talisman available. I could have made steam runes on the Fire Altar because I'd already made steam runes on the water altar using a fire talisman. I haven't yet landed on an exact ruling as to whether I could make each of these at each altar independently if I have enough talismans for it. I think I probably can, because I'm having to use completely different resources, different talismans and different essences, but it still doesn't matter. I still don't have enough talismans that it makes a difference over multiple cycles in a row, so I just have a water talisman left over that I will then get to use next cycle. All right, that's everybody. Let's see, what else do we have to review? Loot tracker, slow scroll. The only thing on here that's incorrect is the hill giants. It should be 19 instead of 17, but I had 2 kills before I reset it. The rest of this should be accurate. Killed 2 fewer goblins because I overkilled last cycle. Okay. XP tracker, again, the XP tracker is borked, sadly, due to multiple updates and a couple power outages, but so this is not all the XP I gained in this cycle. I actually got quite a bit more in woodcutting, for example. But here's the current XP totals, just kind of running through levels. 43 construction is going to be exciting, because then we can boost to make a chapel and maybe get some more prayer XP. I don't think I have enough money for a chapel right now. I'm just short of it, and if I were to get one, I would be completely broke. But I suppose I might try using up some of my willow logs and oak logs here and selling the bows to get a little bit of extra money to afford it. I might do that next cycle, depending on how everything else is going. 35 runecraft is the objective. That lets us do what lies below, which lets us skip another chunks worth of trees to chop, which would be really nice. Also lets us craft chaos runes, which could add up over time for magic XP. Long ways to go on mining. I'm going to be skipping the shooting star for a number of cycles due to the earlier mistake I mentioned. Shouldn't have been mining them in the first place because I hadn't had a fishing rod in order to get pikes or whatever from those fishing nodes. So it's probably going to be a while until we see 55 mining to do mithril, but it will happen eventually. 38 thieving is still a long ways off on the thieving front. We should hit 11 agility next time. The next really big level we care about for agility is 13 for quests and shortcuts, and then 15 for the monkey bars, the Edgeville dungeon. Final time in the live split timer was 20 hours, 25 minutes, which isn't too bad. It's about an hour more than the last cycle. Took us about 13 days and 10 hours total time played for the account so far in 33 cycles total. Here's our supplies tracker over here on the right. Used a ton of ammunition this time. I'm actually basically out of arrows. I'm going to save these steel arrows for actual content and the silver bolts for actual ranged content that requires it versus just training on goblins and stuff. If I want to keep training range, I'm going to have to burn through these bronze bolts. I really don't want to. The crossbow is way slower, like 150% slower than the short bow, but if it's all I got, it's all I got, and I do want to try to get ranged up, if not to 60, at least high enough to get one more max hit out of it before I get another Mossy Key or Giant's Key drop. Here's the random event history. This is going to bleed a little bit into the previous cycle, but we did get a genie, a dunce, and another genie somewhat recently. I think this other genie was the one from right before the beginning of the cycle. So doing pretty good on those random events. I need to start remembering to keep this clean irrit leaf on me so we can get another agility potion, because we're getting pretty low on this one. There's only 2 doses left. But here, let me give you the full bank review. Slow scroll. General, the bank's looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and add it to my bank memory plugin real quick. And this is where we can see the net changes to things. Came out slightly ahead on Pure Essence. I got lucky with drops in the Stronghold of Security. Definitely need to make more Rings of Returning. I'll probably do that next cycle. Burn through those really fast. Net 16,250 on coins, which is pretty good given that I have to always spend a certain amount every single cycle on planks. So coming out a little bit ahead is good to see. And I'm just going to leave this beginner clue scroll in the bank to stop them from dropping. Like, there's nothing else really that I can get from them now that I have the black pickaxe, and they just take a ton of time. I might revisit working on beginner clues in the future when I have more chunks unlocked and can actually clear them, just to get interesting cosmetic drops and the like, but I feel like now is not the time to keep getting distracted by them. Just reviewing the new items from this cycle. Let's see, water skins, all of the fishing equipment, Shantae passes, banana tree seed, red berry seeds, lantodium seeds, frog spawn, pikes, slimy eels, salmon, trout. I got a Dougal leave an extra one just for shits and giggles. I don't think I can actually do anything with it. Mithril spear, I want to say dropped from a moss giant. So I guess I can already poison that. I might want to go ahead and do that just so I have a good source of poison. I think this is my best spear in my bank right now. Yeah, it totally is. I got poison from some of the enemies in the Lumberge Swamp Cave, I believe. Oh wait, no, that drops from Unkahs, doesn't it? Yeah, Mithril Spear P. So now if I ever get to some PVM content that I'm going to be dependent on poison for, I can at least use that, even though it's going to be really bad. And we got a couple Dwarven Stouts, which should be nice. Generally looks pretty good in the bank side of things. I think that's everything there is to summarize. Let's go ahead and let's roll a new chunk here. Alright, as a reminder, here's the whole board. Let's just look at the stuff that's new. We've already talked about just about everything else. Everything around Unkah is new. Obviously, getting Temporos would be amazing. I would be very pleased to get this. I guess, is this technically Temporos? Oh, man, I guess it's a surface chunk. I thought it was an arena. So I might need to roll this chunk and roll this chunk to technically get Temporos. But there's nothing in this chunk other than access to Temporos. Yeah, so if I were to roll it, it would be an immediate reroll. So I guess I technically need to get 2 rolls in order to get to Temporos, but that's okay. I should be consistent with anything that's technically a surface chunk. I'll probably apply the same rules to places like the fishing platform or Entrana or whatever. The quarry would be great. I would love to start being able to mine sandstone and granite now. Also get a little bit more clay. This has some broader impacts to the playthrough that would be quite nice. Don't want the Menaphos Desert because there's new stuff here that's not interesting, but it's new enough that I would have to do all the past chunks. It doesn't really get us closer to anything interesting. Don't really want these South Unkah ruins for the same reason. There's technically new stuff here in the form of a fishing spot and some billy goats, but stuff that would warrant me redoing the entire cycle that I don't really want to do. Everything else is as previously described, though. Let's go ahead and click on roll here. Okay, I think that's in the Isle of Souls, right? I had that as a thumbs up. Okay, so Soul Isle Mine has birds and rats, a chisel pickup. The mine contains 3 clay, 6 coal, 3 copper, 4 gold, 10 iron, 2 mithril. Unfortunately, I can't clear it this cycle. 3 silver and 3 tin, along with 82 trees. The trees part kind of sucks. And an anvil, I guess. No quest progression, nothing else here other than the mine. So this actually is quite nice for mining and smithing going forward. I'm not mad about rolling this. This is pretty good. It also gets us closer to other more interesting parts of the Isle of Souls. I just kind of look at what's adjacent here. Get a big fishing net. This might be a roll chunk. I don't think there's actually anything here. Assuming I can get the big fishing net from the fishing shop in Unkah, I don't think there's actually anything new in this chunk. So I think that if we were to roll this, it would be an instant reroll.
Hey, it's Future Marston again, just weighing in real quick. So the Ruins of Unkah shop does not sell a big fishing net, and this would in fact be our first time encountering the item. Relevant to this, I'd like to talk about the skipping the bonfire rule. Remember, we can roll a boring chunk that only has content that we've seen before, and if that's the case, if there's absolutely nothing new in the chunk, we can go there and exhaust as much as we're able to exhaust, and then roll a new chunk. So the clarification here is that optional content in the chunk doesn't count for the purposes of enforcing this rule. Optional content includes critters, enemies that have very few hit points and no drop table, including bones, some world gatherables like wheat fields or potato fields, and most relevantly here, item spawns don't count. The reason I'm making this clarification is because there would be double dipping otherwise. Suppose you have two chunks, chunk A and chunk B. Chunk A has a big net item spawn, and chunk B has a big net fishing spot. Aside from those two new things, chunk A and chunk B are both boring chunks. Everything else in the chunk is old. That means if we roll the chunk with a big net item spawn, we wouldn't be able to use it on anything because we don't have access to a big net fishing spot yet, right? And if we roll the chunk with the big net fishing spot, we can't fish at it because we don't have the big net yet. So if we were to roll the fishing spot first, it's completely fine that, too bad, you have to light a bonfire. There is new content here and you're blocked by having access to a big net. That's already something that we do. But the other way around, where you can get the big net and then can't use it, is kind of against the spirit of the whole skipping the bonfire concept. Like, we need to be able to skip lighting the bonfire in boring chunks sometimes, otherwise this account is going to take more than my 10,000 hour target. And if you have a chunk like this one where the only new thing is a big net spawn that you can't use, I think that still counts as boring, right? We're still going to have to light a bonfire when we get a big net node, but the item spawn doesn't change anything by itself. Anyway, just wanted to clarify that. Let's get back to the picker.
And then this guy has sand crabs, which you'd be like, oh cool, sand crabs, it's training. It has maple trees, that's important. So I'll probably put that as a thumbs up. Okay, yeah, so next episode, look forward to a little bit more mining, a bunch of stuff we've already done, but there's also some other exciting unlocks. Like next episode, we're going to get the ectoplasmator, which I might pop back over to the Isle of Souls and unlock right away so that we have it available for any spectral enemies we kill, like Unkahs and ghosts and the like. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next cycle. Bye, everybody.